French authorities are still removing burned-out cars, cleaning up broken glass, and scouring graffiti from buildings on the famed Champs-Élysées Avenue and other Paris landmarks that were trashed by protesters over the weekend. You mentioned these were the worst riots in a decade, but French police say some of the violent tactics were unprecedented. Watch.
Hammers, steel beads, gardening tools, hose projected towards officers, big bolts were thrown on them. We have pictures of that. Aerosol cans linked to gas bombs or firecrackers thrown on our officers.
Yeah, dozens were hurt, and now reports that an elderly woman has died from her injuries. In all, some 250 fires were reported, and 300-plus people remain behind bars. The violence included groups on the far left and far right, but police also believe much of the violence aimed at police was the work of professional troublemakers. The yellow jackets, worn by a great number of protesters, are the fluorescent vests that French motorists are required to have in their cars for emergencies. But the jackets have come to symbolize far more than just a push against rising fuel taxes. They are now emblematic of violent protesters using the spotlight to lash out at the policies of French President Emmanuel Macron, saying he doesn't care about ordinary people. Macron says he welcomes the views of the protesters but denounces the violence and vows to punish those behind it. Listen.
No causes justify attacks on police or pillaging stores, burning public or private buildings, threatening passers-by or journalists, or vandalizing the Arc de Triomphe. Those responsible for the violence don't want any change. They don't want any improvement. They want chaos.
President Macron is also asking his Interior Secretary to consider adapting security procedures to try to contain these ongoing protests. This was the third weekend in a row of demonstrations, and more are planned for later this week.